Welcome to Rideau Lakes Yoga's short chair practice. We will be doing some standing today, but you'll notice I don't have a mat out, so you don't need a mat for what we'll be doing. A couple of the very functional pieces of yoga for, in my beliefs, is that we want to keep breathing as long as we can. That's a good way to stay healthy. And if we are standing on two legs and moving on two legs still, we want to be able to do that as long as possible. For those of you that are already limited in your mobility, I think all of this can be done seated as well. I will be doing the standing today though, and you can do and follow along as much as possible in your chair. So coming into a comfortable seated position, and just for me to talk a little bit about that, on a chair, trying to be not right at the back. If you're sitting on the back of the chair, you'll notice that my body rounds, and all of a sudden I have less space here for breathing. So if my goal is to keep breathing as long as I can, sitting like this is not very helpful. You'll also notice that the curve at the top of my spine and up to my head is enhanced, which closes in at the lungs. So sometimes we do need some, we want to sit back, or we need some stability because of pain issues. So if that's the case for you, a small children's ball behind your back so that you can still sit upright. You're upright with your spine's natural curves, and your shoulders can be shoulder blades a little bit towards the spine and back and down. Now, you may see here that my heels are not on the floor. I'm very short-legged. My pillow is way over there. If I was going to sit back in this chair like this, I would need a pillow under my feet so my feet can be flat on the floor. So I'd like you to find your comfortable seated pose where your feet can be flat on the floor. If you have to have something for your back, maybe folding a cushion in half, putting a cushion underneath your bottom if you like to raise your hips so that your knees are lower than your hips and your feet are flat on the floor. Here we're already using our core strength because we're sitting up tall without resting on anything. So our body is working. And here's our first pose, easy seated pose. As we're here, let's just arrive, taking a few breaths. And to help us notice our breathing, let's taking one hand to your chest and noticing any sensation of movement in the chest as you breathe. We're not striving or trying to get any sensation, we're noticing what's here. So breathing naturally. Being curious, taking one or both hands to your ribs, either at the front or the side, or crossing over, however it's easiest for you to feel the ribs. There may be a lot or no movement, so noticing what's here. And then taking one or both hands to the belly. And I'd like you to sense the balloon effect of the breath. So on the inhale, the belly expands, and on the exhale, it softens. Like a balloon filling up on the inhale, and the balloon releasing and letting go. The reason that happens is because even though our lungs are in the upper part of the body, as we inhale, the diaphragm pushes down, and all our internal organs get a little massage. They get kind of pushed, and that creates a little more movement in our belly. As we exhale, and our muscles might help that exhale, they don't have to, the body does it itself. The diaphragm lifts back up and squeezes the air out of the lungs. So this is a natural movement of air all the way down into the belly. If we want to keep breathing as long as possible, then we want the air to be moving down into the lungs, using all our lung capacity, which goes over into the side, the back, and low into the ribs. So we've been come into easy pose. We've noticed our breath, and with eyes open or closed, I'd like you just to do a little scan of the body, noticing whatever sensations are here now. You might notice, oh, there's that pain in my knee, and just let it be there, noticing what you've arrived with. Some areas will have more pain and discomfort than others, and some will maybe feel open and easeful, strong or stable. So just noticing all the sensations in the body right now. And whatever areas you did discover any kind of painful sensation in, I would really like you to make a commitment to yourself, taking good care of yourself. Hey, best friend, I don't want you to be more hurt at the end of this practice, so I'm going to be as gentle as I need to be to take good care of you. And that might be a message to your knee or your hip or your neck or your head, wherever your wrists, wherever the body is talking to you. So there we've found our breath, come into easy pose, made an intention to take good care of ourselves. So let's do a little movement. Taking the feet about knee width apart, ankles directly under the knees. We'll bring the hands onto the thighs. And on the inhale, inhale the chest forward to open the heart, taking the shoulders back, the elbows back. And on the exhale, push the thighs away, rounding a little bit, taking the spine back, your belly button to the spine, and looking down towards your thighs. So this is 1 and 2 movements of the spine. Convex and concave. Inhaling to open, breathing into the heart center, exhaling, helping the body get rid of all the air. And one more time. Nice open heart. Exhale, rounding back. And then inhale into tall sitting, easy pose. Sitting with the natural curves of our spine. So now as we sit tall, I'm thinking about the chin. We're going to exhale and look over towards our right shoulder. Keeping the chin parallel to the floor. Inhaling to center. And exhaling, looking the opposite direction. Two more movements of the spine, twisting right and left. And here we're doing it with the uppermost part of our spine, which we call the neck. And pausing here. So taking the left hand to the chair. Oh, let's help the breath a little bit more before we do the next one. We need to check into how our shoulders and arms are doing. So inhale, let the breath float the arms up, coming up overhead, and exhale, coming down. Now, everything that I offer is optional. It's your choice. You might start to lift your arms and notice, that's where I find discomfort. So pausing there and then exhaling down. When we take good care of ourselves, our body can release some of the tension it holds on to protect us. And we might find that there's a little more movement, millimeter by millimeter. So tuning in to what's right for you, and then exhaling, hands down. Now we'll take the left hand to the chair. Holding on to the chair, the right hand, if it's okay on your shoulder, will go up by your ear. And if your shoulder is talking to you in a way that says, then tuck that hand behind your back. That's our inhale. And our exhale is to go over, creating some space on the right side of the body. Staying here and breathing and thinking about that balloon again. You might notice a sense of filling up on this open right side of the body, particularly at the ribs and the underarm or wherever you're tight. And on an inhale, inhaling back up, exhaling the hand down. And do the other side, paying attention to this shoulder behind your back or inhaling it up by your ear, exhaling back over to the side, looking gently across the room, or if it's easier on your neck, down at the floor. Noticing the balloon, and on an inhale, coming back up. Two other movements of the spine are side-to-side movements. So we've gone forward and back. Our neck has twisted side to side, and we've bent, opening up our side body. Those are the 6 movements of the spine for a healthy spine. Let's do a little bit with the legs before we stand up so you can check in with your low back and hips. Taking the foot forward and lifting up and down and back. Or you're just going to change sides, forward and up, down and back. You can hold on to your chair, the back of your chair, if that helps you feel more stable. It's the legs and the hips that are moving, not the back. So you don't want the body to be rocking in order to help you to do this. So if you're finding that you rock, then let's just do lift up and down and up and down. That might be a little bit easier on the low back. Last one. Great. So now let's come on to standing. Before we do, I want to do the chair with you. So we're going to take our heels back a little bit farther. And the standing chair is one I do in pretty much every yoga class because it really helps strengthen our thighs and our abdominal muscles. So here we're going to do the chair pose. Feet are back a little bit towards the chair. Exhale, leaning forward. So we're going to press into the feet, engage the thighs, engage the glutes, and lift the body up just a little. And then come on back down and relax. You can do this every time you get out of the chair. So anytime you're sitting at the kitchen chair, which is usually a nice hard one, think about doing this. Pressing into the feet, engage the thigh muscles, engage the abdomen, engage the glutes, press and sit back down. So if you do that 3 times, every time you're going to get up out of the chair, you've just added a little yoga, you've added a little strengthening in your daily activities. So this time, let's come all the way to standing. Press into the feet, engage the thighs, engage the butt, engage the glutes, and we'll come all the way up, and I'll come back beside my chair. So holding onto the chair for stability, if you're feeling quite unstable, then you might have 2 chairs beside you, or you might turn to have one hand on the wall and one hand on the chair. Paying attention and taking care of yourself and what your needs are so that you start off feeling really stable. And we want to come into both feet. So you may have your feet hip bone width apart, so you're really reaching down strong in the legs. Engage your butt muscles. So we just squeeze the butt muscles a little bit together so you can feel them fire up to help you be strong. And they don't have to stay like that. So now that you've woken them up and said, hello, I need some glute strength here, now you can release them a little. We're going to warm up our ankles and our feet. So let's point the toe and lift the knee like we were doing on the floor. Bring it back down and release. Transfer the weight over, point the toe, lift the knee, back down and release. And a couple more times to each side. You've got it. Okay, so I do make it a little bit harder. If you're really holding on tightly, then you might want to just loosen your grip a little, or if you're just holding on loosely, you might just want to hold on with 1 or 2 fingers. And we're going to lift and down and lift and down, and lift and down and release. Point the toe, lift and down, and lift and down, lift and down. Last one, lift and release. Thank you, legs. Can you feel them getting stronger? Rooting down through your feet. Another balance. Let's bring the toe to the floor. Turn the knee out to the side and bring the heel into the side body. And if you've just noticed that you've done a lot of this kind of thing to help you balance, we want the standing leg to be strong, pressing down into the floor. So we stay fairly stable here. Having your hand on the chair will help. This toe can stay on the floor, or you can take your foot off the floor. Gently pressing foot into calf, calf into foot. That helps keep this hip from collapsing out. So you want a nice, tall hip. Bring your hand to your belly. That helps tell your brain that you would like to be balanced. And then let your eyes just rest on a focus point, a few feet away. Maybe playing a little bit with how much you hold onto the chair, or loosening your grip a little. And then releasing that leg down. Thank you, leg. So you can change sides and hold onto the chair on the other side, or stay with this side. Rooting down through the feet, so you lengthen up through that hip, feeling nice and strong here. Bend the knee and externally rotate. Turn the knee out to the side. Heel to the calf. That might be where you stay. Hand to the belly, eyes softly focusing. Helps you balance. Maybe the foot comes off the floor. Pressing gently into the calf, calf into the foot to keep that hip from collapsing. Playing with how much you hold on to the chair. Or maybe holding on to both chairs. Lovely. Undoing the knee, bring it down. Thank you, legs. And I like to give a little shake out. You know, when you watch animals, when they do a little bit of work, then they like shake it out. So we can take a cue from them and just notice, let go of tension. So we've warmed up our spine in all 6 directions. We've warmed up our ankles, our knees, and our hips. Let's do a little bit more for our breath. And of course, all of that, except for those, the tree pose, could be done in a chair, even in for those who are not standing, you could work on a chair in a one-footed balance, which is going to be a different effect for people who need to stay seated, but you're still working with your legs and hips. So we're going to come into our upper body, and this can be done seated or standing. We've done some breaths overhead. Let's inhale our arms out to the side in a great big W. This will be their starting point. And on the inhale, the wind blows our arms back, opening our heart center a little bit more. And on the exhale, the wind softens, and we just come a little bit past neutral. So there's our starting neutral. Inhale to open. Exhale. And maybe we've come a little farther so we can feel a little stretch in our upper back. Inhale to open. We'll do 2 more. Let's inhale to open, staying here for a breath. And on the exhale, release the hands. Hello, shoulders. Taking the shoulders up to the ears and back and down. And shoulders up and back and down. And 2 more times. Let's take them up and keep them up. Tight, tight, tight. Oh, hello, tension. Take a big inhale in, and on your exhale, let them go. Coming back into that 2-footed standing mountain pose. Hand can be on your chair or chairs. Eyes can be open or closed. And bringing our gaze internal to notice all the sensations that are happening here for us now. Pausing to notice is really important. Let's do a couple more poses. We want to lengthen our back body and open our shoulders. So we're going to take the chair, stand behind the chair, and move our feet back. Our knees can have a gentle bend in them, and we'll press our bottom back, back, back. And it might look something like this for you, with your chest high. The sensation you're looking for is dropping between your arms. For me, I'm going to drop down a little farther so that my head is in line with my arms. When you're tight in the arms and shoulders, then you may stay up like this, and that's okay. You'll still get the same sensation. My bottom is reaching back, 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 back to find length in my shoulders and in my side body by my ribs. Then bend the knees and walk a little closer towards the chair and come to standing. So we'll take this back down to the chair. And the last 2 postures here will be coming into our twist. So the spine also twists. We did that with our head earlier, but now we're going to do it with our whole spine. So taking the left hand onto the right knee and the right hand behind the body, maybe holding onto the chair or at the seat of the chair behind you. Sitting up really tall, and the chin is in line with the chest. Taking the right shoulder back as you twist towards the right. When the body won't twist anymore and the spine has reached its twist, then you can let the head gently turn to look over the right shoulder. Staying and breathing and noticing the balloon effect of the breath. Where do I expand? What happens when I soften? And then taking the head back and the chin back in line with the chest and untwisting. We'll go over to the other side. So the left hand comes behind you on the chair. It might reach over the chair to the seat. The right hand comes to your thigh. Chin in line with chest, moving the left shoulder back to find your twist. On the exhale, turn the head to look over the left shoulder. And then inhale your head in line with your chest and release the twist, coming to center. Taking your feet a little bit wider. We did this pose at the very beginning. It's our forward fold. So the hands are on the thighs, the elbows are by the knees. And on the inhale, lengthen the chest away from the hips. On the exhale, hinge at your hip flexors. Looking for a long spine, just letting the body fold, noticing sensations in the low back, not going any farther than is right for you. As the body releases, you may find a little more fold, a little more hinge. It's all happening at the hips. And on the next inhale, press through the feet and inhale to let the body float back up. Coming back into easy pose, easy seated pose. Hands up or down, paying attention to your shoulders. Eyes can be opened or closed. You may want to bring a hand to your heart, saying thank you for this practice. Hand to your belly, being grounded and centered. And then noticing the sensation of the breath beneath the hands as the body rises up to meet the palms. Eyes softly gazing down on the floor or gently closed. Paying attention and noticing where the breath travels in your body. Tuning into all the sensations in your body that are here right now. The areas that you were experiencing some difficulty with at the beginning, and noticing what sensations are here. And if you're finding sensations of tension, tightness, or discomfort, then perhaps sending your breath awareness right into that knee or shoulder or low back. And letting it go of that. Expanding awareness into the whole body once again. Noticing areas of warmth and tingling energy as the energy flows into all parts of your being. Thank you for practicing yoga with me today. May peace and joy and love and compassion fill your hearts. May you have a wonderful day. Jai Bhagwan.